up with a scratch or scrap. So then I've brought that out of position, so I'm going to wrap it back around, make sure it fits the way I wanted it to. Now I cut long on my line, so there's a little tiny overlap right there. The piece that's coiling over overlaps the piece underneath that I filed previously by a fraction of a millimeter, and that's fine. That's what I'm looking for. But at least I know that that's really close. Now when I open this up, carefully, get my big file again, make a gap big enough there so I can get my big file in there. Elbow straight in, hold this firm. If you don't feel like you can hold this in your fingers because it hurts or whatever, or you don't have strong enough fingers, you can take your ring clamp, but be really careful. Don't squeeze it real hard. Ooh. Just put it in there real gentle and take the wedge and just push it like that hard. Don't, a lot of times when you put a ring in there, you really wedge that in there. If I wedge that in there too tight, it's going to collapse this bezel because it's delicate. So, but I just want a little tiny bit sticking out. Take my file, elbow into my ribs, touch it to the edge of the bezel, and I use my index finger over here to kind of guide it and watch it move away in a straight line. 2 or 3 strokes, and that line that I left visible, I'm filing right up to that line. Right there and right at the line. So now I've got 2 ends that hopefully are nice and perpendicular. And perpendicular means they're at a 90 degree. Here's the side of the bezel that's sitting on the flat surface down here. Then the wall that's standing up, that line is at a 90 degree angle to that. Both of them. So now they should meet nice and clean like this. One more test to make sure it fits around the stone well. If you want to, you can even take your pliers and sort of close this back up. The less you can distort that bezel by pushing it over, by using tools rather than just your fingers, the better off you're going to be in the long run. So that's pretty close to the size of my stone right there. There's a little tiny gap. The ends of that meet really nicely. Put that on my bezel, or put the bezel on my stone. Look down at it. See, right now I can see, when I pinch that together, I can see on this top surface on my right hand side looking straight down, I can see a pretty good sized gap between the stone and the bezel. I want that to go away because I want it to fit a little bit tighter, but I don't want it to be so tight that when I pick the bezel up, that the bezel comes up with the stone trapped inside of it.